इतना सफर है कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में। इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानपुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
Good afternoon. 22 years of creating market, helping all the business to expand, all the brands to expand their business through our network, and fulfilling dreams of business buyers through our potential and premium brands. Yes, that's the journey of Franchise India. With this introduction, I, Archana Sharma, along with the team of Franchiseindia team, welcomes you to the 56th episode of Business Opportunity with Chai webinar series, an initiative which we have taken on 1st of May and still continuing. This particular webinar is hosted by Mr. Maria, he's the chairman at Franchise India Group, and Ms. Sonia Chaudhary, she's the MD at Franchise India Brands Limited and director at Remax India. And both are leading each one of us on day-to-day operations and with their experience expanding our business. Today we welcome you to the brand EnQ, and we have privilege that we have Mr. Arnav Sengupta, who is the co-founder and director with us, talking about this great brand. He has 11 years of rich experience of corporate and business experience. EnQ, an e-commerce distribution business opportunity for all of you, which was established in 2016, and they are offering premium organic personal care and beauty products. If I talk about their USP, they are known for their premium quality. It's an affordable brand for all of us, offering 200 plus brand range and also having a standard of international product. Not to forget, they have online presence also. So with this introduction, I formally welcome Arnav, and I would request if we can play a small video before we take formal session with him. Thank you so much everyone for joining us today. Arnav, we would request you to share your screen so that we can start the presentation with you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me do that. Okay. So, just a second. All right. So, is it visible now?
Yes.
So, good afternoon, everybody. Right, and it's a very privilege to share the dice with Mr. Gaurav Maria, the chairman, as well as Sonia ma'am and the team of Franchiseindia. Right, and warm welcome to all of you. So basically, we as in the EnQ, what you've seen in the video, the name of the company came from the concept of that every individual has an IQ. So we thought when we started this company, we thought of, that every individual aspiring mind has a factor of EnQ, so the entrepreneurship quotient, and that's how we came up with this organization, right? And with only one mission to bring in more and more number of entrepreneurs and develop that factor. So that's how we started our journey in 2017, and I want to thank Mr. Maria also, because at that point of time, when we started, we used to, personally me used to follow a lot, right? Because I was a young aspirant guy looking for to get my foot into business, and believe me, it was a really difficult decision to make. But he made our journey easy, right? And so that's how this entire company came into picture. And within this journey, we found that there was one segment, a particular segment, which has a lot of potential in the market, and through which we can actually help people get into a different level of entrepreneurship. So that's how this entire the EnQ brand came in, which basically is a premium quality, affordable organic brand, right? And today I want to present an opportunity for all the people who are aspiring into this segment with a very unique model, which we believe is unique. And why unique? Because we tried to keep things very hassle free and to bring it into a plug and play model. So that's how this entire concept of exclusive product franchising, which came into existence. We started our journey in 2018, giving franchising and opening for franchise. And by couple of years, we could reach around 128 different franchise people who have started with us. And already we have, franchised around more than 200 plus products. The exact count is 300 now, right? Because this pandemic has actually somehow given us much more hope into this segment, right? So with this, let me tell you that we are into personalized hair care, skin care, men's grooming, and advanced skincare. That is the four major segments we are trying to cater. On the onset, I just wanted to tell you that if I want to segregate the brand, which we are, it is on the basis of that there was a segment of certified organic ingredients, which was the main lookout into this market. So there were a number of brands. So let me go and give you a clearer picture where we position ourselves. So if you see, on the basis of our marketing research, there are very handful of brands which are certified or having certified organic ingredients, or they are claiming to have certified organic ingredients. And if you see the segment of affordability, so the brands like Kama, Forest, these are the brands which have make a landmark in this field of organic and natural care brands. And but what we try to plug in is into the more affordable segment. And because if you see, there are a number of brands which are crowded in the other two aspects of being affordable and being on the higher price, right? But yes, if I talk about products with organic ingredients, with certified organic ingredients, we are among the very few brands in the market which are playing, which are playing. So you can see in the slide. So with that, let me come a bit more about the brand and the product, which is the main key for this particular franchise. So if I talk about the premium quality organic and natural care brand, yes, we are, and we are trying to bring that price. If I tell you clearly, there are two segments which we found when we started our journey. One was around 400-500 rupees, till 400-500 rupees, which were like major brands like the ITCs and the HULs and all those people which were catering the volume offline market. But when we saw the premium quality segment, we saw that there were a handful of brands, but they are into above 1,000-1,200 range. So we thought of getting into a mid segment where we can cater a larger perspective of customers with the quality of premium ingredients of premium quality. So that's how we started working, and we found that in e-commerce, so majority of customers which are coming and buying the products are looking for in the same segment. So that's how we started. We tried to get all the best quality approvals which are required to get a good quality product, like majorly EcoCert and Cosmos, which are the landmark approvals for organic ingredients as well as the product. Our aim was always to cater the international market, because the players from India were very fewer, because in international market there are certain ingredients which are banned or prohibited, like paraben and sulfate. And because with the trend which has come up in last few years, you can see that more and more companies are coming up with sulfate free, paraben free, non-emulsifying wax. So all the key good quality ingredients and the specification we try to bring in our product and try to cater to the affordable market segment. And somehow it clicked, right? With God's grace and with the love of the people. Now we are a very strong brand, emerging brand. If I tell you our major marketplace is Amazon, right? So we are among the top 30 emerging brands, right? We have more than 300 plus products which we have launched in couple of years, looking at the success of the journey, right? If I talk about majority of e-commerce, why I'm talking about e-commerce major? Because our major market is in e-commerce itself. And yes, we are also offline in different sectors, but yes, we have a big plan coming up in the offline sector, but our major stay is e-commerce because of various reasons, which I will be trying to cover. So if you see e-commerce, the major factor for a brand success is the feedback or the ratings, which people generally a buyer look into. So our ratings are on an average 4-star, which is on a good or a higher side, we can say, right? After 2 years of being in the market. Our presence in India is majorly in Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal and Nykaa, but the major business is happening through Amazon and Flipkart. And we have recently in January started our operations in US, like through Amazon itself. And we are planning for another 15 countries, because Amazon itself is giving us those platforms. Because once they see that the company is doing good, the feedbacks are good, they give us more and more opportunities in different countries. And I have mentioned Cloudtel. Cloudtel is one of the biggest sellers on Amazon. So now we are partnered with Cloudtel also, and we are reaching a bigger customer base in last 6 months, right? So with this, if I talk about a brief about what we have done, our Amazon account has touched upon 1 lakh happy customers, right? And the best part in our product is, because the segment is more of an affordable segment, and the quality we are trying to keep at best. So we have a high repetitive business which is happening, which is even more than 60%. So because in e-commerce, we get the data, like what kind of geography, what kind of customer base is trying to buy the products. We have seen the very high rise of repetitive business in a very short span of journey. And of course, we are also now getting a very good, healthy B2B businesses like from India Marts and all those kind of platforms. So, and we could find that there is a huge demand which is coming in. And with this pandemic, when it came into essential goods in the second lockdown, and from there, and because the malls and big stores were not operating for quite some time, so those people who are looking for good quality organic products, they have also started shifting towards not shift, but they have also started trying our products, right? So that's how we can see a very good rising. Yes, the overall market was a bit low in pandemic, but at least we could, the way we were growing, we are back on track very soon. So with this, so this is how the brand possesses, and we have a plan roadmap, clear-cut roadmap to reach 170 crore by 25. So that is, if we see only the growth, what the market is giving, if we go by that also, we can easily touch upon that. So this was about a bit about the product. Now let me talk about more about the model or the franchisee, what we are offering to people. So this is just a pictorial way to just give you a clarity that generally what happens is brands give their bunch of products for a particular area. So that's how the franchising models work. But what we are trying to do a bit more innovation, I don't know whether Gaurav sir will give me a more clarity, right? But what we have tried to do is to give individual product or exclusive product to people and give them the global rights. Now it has actually given people a sense of real royalty, because when you have a product and you have, and you are not bounded by any geography or climate conditions or market spaces, so the possibilities of growth is infinite. So that in terms of the the market sizes, so that's how we have tried to change or bring in a new concept, which we believe, and it clicked, and that's why we had got a very good response, and we could able to franchise out more than now 200 products, 128 people in just couple of years. A more more aggressive zone where we are trying to bring in more people, because looking at the market size, and that's how we came up associated with this with Franchiseindia, and we are very, very high hopeful that this journey will be a great journey. So now let me come to a bit of insight of the company. It started in 2017. Since 2018 we are giving our franchise. Started giving options, product franchise to people. Head office and manufacturing all are in Gujarat, right? So it's a Make in India company, and basically our headquarters is in Surat. My other two partners, Mr. Nishit Goradi and Jevan Jani, they are also from Surat, right? So we have grown over 115% CAGR from 2017 itself. Even this year, initially, we were thinking of how the year will go, but now the pace which we have seen, we can easily touch upon, and we can easily maintain that growth. So that is how the company is in last few years, right? And if I talk about the numbers, I have already given you 200 plus product franchise already given in among these 128 people in last 2 years. The brand and the ratings I have already discussed. So let me get into a bit of insight into the market, which has excited us a lot to come into this. So if I talk about the e-commerce, right, overall e-commerce growth. So if by 25, it is expected with a growth of 30% CAGR. So that's a very healthy growth rate which e-commerce is coming. So the number says that it will be 30 billion to 120 billion by 25. Right, and the majority reason is that big players like Jio has already announced that they are coming up with their own platforms, like in Amazon, right? Baba Ramdev has already shared his view upon e-commerce, that he is also looking forward for it, and other big players are also coming in with the huge investments that is also helping this industry to leverage more. If I talk about reaching out customers, that has always been a great thing in e-commerce. The best part, what we have seen, that the cost of carrying out a business on e-commerce compared to offline market has been on the lesser side. You are dealing directly with the customers through the platform, so there is no worries about the credit part, right? And of course the accessibility, because of this pandemic, we have a lot of people who are doing business with us, but the business continued because with the internet facility available, you can still continue the business. So that is how the entire model was defined, right? And coming ahead, if I talk about the personal care, so online personal care is growing by 50% CAGR. So it is expected to, in next couple of years, it is going to double itself. So that is the beauty of this particular segment. And if I talk about, of course, it is one of the fastest growing segments. It has become the basic necessity as it has been introduced into the essential goods. So we consider it is a basic necessity for people. If I talk about specifically e-commerce category, so there are 3-4 major categories which are selling, like electronics, then apparels and accessories, and personal care. If I need to name 3 major categories, out of which personal care is a segment which comes with a no refund policy. So it reduces a lot of risk for sellers compared to apparels, which has 1 month refund policy, and if you talk about electronics again. So, and the second good part about this category is, the risk of upgradation is not there, like unlike a mobile or any gadget which gets advanced and then the business gets into a toss. So this was not with personal care. And the best part is, if you don't like a shirt, if you love a shirt, sorry, and if you love a mobile, you will generally people don't buy the same model again. So, but when you love a shampoo or a personal care product, you keep on buying it till the time somebody else pushes you out for anything else. So the repetitive business is very high into this segment. And the best part was the penetration on e-commerce was very comparatively easy, because the amount of investments and the amount of reaching out was much lesser in compared to offline market. So that's why if we combine this e-commerce and personal care together, so that the model can have a lot of scope and potential, which we have seen over a couple of years. So now let me come finally to what exactly and how exactly this entire model works for you for a franchise. So as I told you, so this model is an exclusive product franchise model. So what we do is, whatever products we are about to launch or we analyze that this has a high potential to launch, we give an option to an individual. He or she who wants to do the business can select the product out of that list which we are coming up with, right? And we help that particular product under our banner to develop, right? So, and whatever business happens for that particular product, right, across the globe in any size, goes, the 100% net profit goes to that individual. Whether he sells, the franchise sells, or the company sells, or through the company's channels, wherever it sells, the entire profit goes to the individual. So that brings a lot of, futuristic growth for an individual, because as the brand is growing, the person's product is also growing simultaneously, and the profits are also growing. So that's how the model is. If I talk about the breakup into this, that how the model is designed. So the investment is around 10 lakh rupees for one franchisee, out of which 7 lakhs is the product value, out of which the product will be given to an individual, assigned to the individual or manufactured. 2 lakhs goes to the marketing budget, which will be on actuals, like it will be spread across. So the individual gets the product, he's launched the product in different platforms along with the company. So the marketing budgets goes into the social media branding. The Amazon itself has its own channel of branding and advertisement. So marketing budget is 2 lakhs, and the rights, the budget for the franchisee cost is around 1 lakh rupees, which we have kept. And if you see the ROI, what we have seen over last 2 years and what we are seeing as the market. So for the first first go, it is around 1.3 times of the total amount invested, and by the second time, when the repeat business happens, so it goes up to 1.5 times. So that is the ROI in this project. And if I talk about the payback period, is around 8 to 15 months. So we have kept a range because because it depends on the product and the environment or the climate which is there. Majorly our products are unisex products which can be used by all, male, female, and we have a category like men's grooming category is different. So, but that too, if you see the global market space, the way we are growing, so you can get it. So this is the payback period around. And now let me talk about the margins. So how the margins play in this, right? So if I talk about the MRP range, which we generally follow, scale, it is around 500 to 1000 is the scale which we keep products MRP. Out of which, if I talk about the cost at which the franchisee get the product, so it is around 30 to 35% of the MRP. So he has a gross margin of around 65 to 70%, in which he has to do the business. Now in this, if I talk about e-commerce marketplaces, so as per our calculation, around 25% goes into the expenses like shipping, handling, packaging, and all these stuffs, the fees, and around 15% we keep for advertisement. So the net profit which a person can draw in the individual product is around 30%, up to 30%, which is the profit which we have seen can be easily drawn. Now, if a person is giving a bit of more deal and discount to establish the product in the beginning, so another 5-10% he can. So 15 to 30% is the range of profits, the net profit which is there. Now, if you compare it with any other e-commerce, if you're taking a product, so at a 50-60% down from as a distributor, so the profit ranges, the net profit ranges around 6 to 8% only. Why? Because the expenses go around with it, right? But when we talk about net profit in this segment, it is up to 15 to 30%. Now, if we go offline also, so the person gets an exclusive right to sell that product in distributor channel also, retail channel also. We are also coming up with our stores. So all these channels, if you see, you can, depending on the channel what you are drawing, so you can go up to 20% to 60% is the range of profit which you can play in the offline market, depending on. So if you are selling on a social media platform like Facebook, WhatsApp, and all those, things, so you are getting up to 60%, right? If you are selling it through a distributor, you can get up to around 20-30% profit. You can easily book on the product. So that's how we have designed the margins for people, right? Online and offline both. Now, coming up to, of course, major establishments are on e-commerce, but an individual also get an option to sell this both online and offline globally, right? So the channels which are available to sell, like what we are till now doing is, like, first is e-commerce like Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, Nykaa, and many others are coming in, right? Secondly, we are also helping and guiding people to do business digitally also, like through Facebooks, Instagrams, and all those applications, through offline channels also, right? Retail and distribution like stores and all. Then we are coming up with our exclusive store, which was actually about to launch on April, but because of this pandemic, we have shifted it to another 6 months from now. So mostly we are coming up with exclusive stores in the market. And also we are targeting international markets. We have already started with US as a channel partner with Amazon, but apart from that, around 3 to 4 countries, we have started small scale exporting, but which we are going to and scale up in a couple of years from now. So that is how the entire options available for an individual to go into and sell the products in the market. And the best part is the entire support and training, right, for doing all these stuffs, like how to establish a product on e-commerce, how to make a seller account, how to sell the products on social media, how to establish a retail distribution chain among the localized market. Every single thing is a part of our training and support, which is also a lifetime thing. So continuously we will be guiding and supporting people to build the product, individual product, and ensure that every individual franchise make a good perspective out of it. So this is how the entire model is designed. And if I talk about, of course, why hassle-free? Because for this kind of a model, you don't need to looking out for a space, or the carrying costs in the beginnings are very minimal, and whatever expenses are calculated, that are calculated in the margin itself. So the
We lost a connection with Arnab.
Yes, sir. I'm just checking it.
Mr. Arnab, you're breaking up. Your internet is... Our apologies for this inconvenience. Shortly, Mr. Arnab would be there. Till that time, I think I can take this opportunity to explain everyone while we wait for him to come back. So they are on the product licensing side. So this is while they're calling it a e-com franchise, but it is a product licensing where every single SKU they make. Oh, he's now back. Okay. Arnab, back to you.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm so sorry. I don't know. Somehow it got broken up. So yeah. So am I back with the slide? So let me finish it off. It's almost done. All right. Hello, am I audible? Anybody?
Absolutely audible. Yeah.
Yeah, fine. So I was talking about what an individual franchisee need to do is, first, of course, he needs to finalize a product or select a product which we will be exclusively giving him the rights with, right? Then he need to focus on his individual product, and the company will be focusing on the overall branding and channels which company can manage. Like, let's say we are coming up with stores, so now you can place that product in the stores and you can further increase your business. So then we will be having our own e-commerce platform like Amazon. Our seller account, it's a big account, so he can place the product there, and whatever business happens as per the law, that entire profit goes to the individual on a regular basis with the data. So that's how we have channeled. So an individual is just need to build that product with the company, and going on with the company will also make sure that continuously the market grows for you and the product brand value grows in the market. So it goes both ways, right? So that is how the model is. And last but not the least, we have tried to minimize the risk at every level, so that any individual can take a decision and jump into this. Because if I talk about there is an option of a lifetime refund policy with this project. So any point of time a person feels he or she that this is not something he has looked upon or he want to go ahead with, so he or she can, whatever stock he has, he can return it back, and the entire, without any deduction, the entire amount goes back to the individual. So that kind of refund policy we have kept. Even the marketing expense are on actuals. The company will be providing the bills, and if he or she takes back the decision, so that money is also goes back to the individual. And only thing what is there is a lakh of rupees of franchise which we have kept, keeping in mind the potential of the market. And there is another option. So in this particular project, there is one which we have seen, that there is one doubt people have while starting, that what if that product doesn't sell, that particular product is not performing, right? So for that also we have our team which continuously analyze the performance of the product. If we found that after giving efforts also it is not moving, there is an option to exchange the product if the person wants to go ahead with. So till now in 128 cases, like people and 200 plus products, we have only found 2 cases like this where we have exchanged the product, and the individual is happy to do business with us. So that is how the entire model is designed, right? And I believe this can be a breakthrough for people who are aspiring to start business, right, and or diversify with a systematic kind of a business. So that is what all from our side. So thank you so much. I think that I've tried to clear, so I can answer if any questions are there. Yes, please.
Thank you, Arnab. A very interesting presentation. Congratulations for your entrepreneurial journey. I like your logo, the entrepreneur quotient.
Thank you.
That says it a lot, that you are a very entrepreneurial mind. So before we go ahead, I think it's very important for us to really explain the whole business model which you've created. For my own structure, this is a model which is used many parts of the world, more through licensing than franchising. So where you are taking one SKU and actually licensing for that IP for the distribution to the franchisee. Now distribution is largely online at this stage, but you are also open for an offline distribution and so on. Now you as a company would take care of product development, product manufacturing, and the distribution would go to the franchisee. Now distribution would involve your support also, which means you will help them to list the product on different platforms and drive the performance and so forth. But from a structure viewpoint and the kind of areas you have given, that there is no risk, they can take the product and back, and they can take this, and because they don't have to carry any other cost of OPEX, which means that retail infrastructure, offices, direct sales teams, nothing. So this becomes, from a fundamental viewpoint, looks very interesting as an opportunity, because you are able to run and drive the business. I have many questions, and I'm sure Sonia also has many questions. So, but we will go one by one. First, let's understand a little bit on the founder group. Who are the founders? What is your background? What is the other 2 partners' background? If you want to also share Is there any other investor in the business, or you are the currently? And if you can also give a little insight on the current size of business, which is the turnover you do on the business. So that's a question number one.
Yeah. So as per the founders are concerned, we are 3 partners in this company, 3 people. One is me and my 2 other partners, Mr. Nishit Goradia and Mr. Jevan Jani. So they are from Surat basically. We all 3 of us has a background of pharmaceutical industry. So worked with premium organizations. It's like my one partner has worked with Johnson & Johnson. I have worked with Boehringer, which is one of the reputed research organization from Germany. One of my partners have worked with Sanofi. It is another good company. So, so that mind of, bringing in a quality product and avoid adverse events. So that has been our, main thought behind bringing the products in this category. And if I talk about one of my partner, Mr. Nishit Goradia, he is also into consulting so almost he has a total exposure of around 16 years. He is also into consulting as well as, so he looks after the ideation and strategy. I personally look after the marketing and branding things. And my other partner, Mr. Jevan Jani, he looks after the entire administrative part and human resource. So that's how we have defined our roles, and that's how we are working as a team. And as for the turnovers is concerned, so last year, like calculation says that we are touching around a net worth of 20 crores in the market. So as a brand, so that is the turnover we are doing as of now. And with this pandemic thing, yes, of course, it has the growth has not been there, but yes, we could easily revive, and now we are at the same level at where we were in Feb. So we are seeing a very high upside in coming 6 months with the festivals coming in, and more people are coming into e-commerce sector. So that's how we have planned a roadmap of another 170 crore value in next 5 years with our stores and all those operations which we are planning. So this is a bit of insight. Any other thing you want to specifically ask?
Right, and let's now go on to the product side. So as a franchisee, when I come in, because you have multiple products from hair care, skin care, men's grooming, advanced skin care, and so on and so forth. And each product has a different volume group, which means that whenever you do a hair care kind of a product, you can go a very large volume also.
Yes.
And because you've already done 200 different SKUs, how would a franchisee choose that what product we need to do? Say somebody takes the beard oil, as a product.
Yeah.
But beard oil might be a very small category,
Yes.
and might do only volume or very small volume versus another product which has a very large volume to be done. So as a franchisee, how do you create a balance? That's question number 1. Second question is distribution. 10 lakh rupees stock, which is 7 lakh rupees is stock value, which means that the stock is really kept with you or transferred to the franchisee. And my second question in this is, because if you do a large volume, say if you want to do a volume, sometimes you're one single SKU. I mean, there are a lot of FMCG companies and businesses out there who have a single SKU and do a 200 crore sales cycle on that, which means that at that stage, if your volume goes up, you need to have a much larger capacity of product being available. Otherwise, you will not be, because your turnover cycles is stock to turnover. Stock to turnover means that if you have 7 lakh rupees stock, the best sales function you can achieve is actually about 4 or 5 lakh rupees. That's it. Because that also is a 45-day cycle, the product would go, the monies are received, and then you will reinvest that. So, which means that if I want to say my product is doing well and it's going up, so you need to put more money to take the stock up. Otherwise, you will never be able to achieve the volume. The distribution is all about the stock, and that's why people are moving towards the Procter & Gamble model of distribution, which has more volume-driven, large quantities and large structure. Then only you will be able to drive volumes. So my question is, how do you forecast what kind of volumes it can do? And you can give an indication of, because you already have experience on different SKUs, what kind of sales they're doing. Second, how do your franchisee has to raise up? Because that franchisee might be a situation where he comes with only 10 lakh rupees, all that he has. And tomorrow, even the volume comes up, he's not able to buy more stock. So he will not be able to sell. So it will create a lot of disappointment for customers. Platforms would not like it because now I'm generating demand, but you are not able to supply the product.
True. So I take one by one. If I miss out, so please let me again know it. So first question was about, it was related to how we define which product will go out big.
Volume it would be, yeah.
Yeah. So see, first and foremost, that we do a very, very thorough analysis of the market first, and our product are designed based on the how the people are looking, whether how much category of people or how much volume of people are looking into. Specifically, I talk about the e-commerce marketplace. So the analysis is done first. Then we try to bring in that whether we can bring in a good quality product in affordable price or not, about that. Then we decide on the products first. So when we decide that which product we will launch, so we give an option to people, a list of products to people, out of which a person can choose, right? So any of the product which he or she will choose as a franchise, the surety of there is a market that is from our side. So that is the first step which we take. Secondly, if I talk about, let's say, you gave an example of beard oil or something. So now what happens is we have kept a first benchmark for all the franchise to reach. So if I go back into the slide, if you see the projections, right? So first milestone is to reach, in 5 years to reach at least minimum of 200 pieces a day. So that brings around 5,000-6,000 pieces. So that's a very humble kind of numbers which we have kept, but we are keeping in mind of all the products and all the individuals, right? So it depends on the individual's efforts also. So then a person is reaching as around 5,000-6,000 pieces a month on e-commerce. So that is how we have channeled. So when we analyze, so we see that for the first 5 to 10 years, how the product, goes on an average basis. So that's how we first calculate. Then we see what if this product's demand goes up. So as for the information, we have a capacity of making around up to 10 lakh pieces a day. So that kind of facilities we are using. So they can go up to 10 lakh pieces manufacturing a day. So first and foremost, if required, right? So the product manufacturing will never be an issue. Now let me come to the answer of like what if sudden rise in the demand happens and we couldn't supply, or maybe the individual franchisee couldn't put in that much of money. So there are two things what we have seen in last couple of years in especially in e-commerce. You always get a trend, right? So it gives you a clear picture that how the product is moving and how the product is increasing its sales. So with that data, you can easily balance your product portfolio. So let's say if it is growing by 10% or 15% or 30%, so day in day, month, week in week, month in month, so you can calculate, right? Now let's say if there is a sudden case of sudden order which came in, right, of let's say a good handsome quantity for a franchisee. In that case, till now what we have done, that has been a case-based issue where company has tried to support the individual on a both party basis, because mostly if I talk about e-commerce, the business is happening on the payment cycle moves around 7 days to 14 days. So the cash, the flow never stops, like unlike other markets where you can have a credit of 3 months, 6 months, which happens sometimes. So the fluidity is always maintained, and we haven't faced a single issue that the franchisee couldn't bring in more product. And if that happens, the company is there to support, because at the end of the day, the brand belongs to the company, and company will never let the product goes down into the market. In that case, we can go one-on-one with the franchise and help them out, come out of it, because ultimately it is giving us the business. So that's how we have planned till now. And we have a very, very cool system, individualistic system in terms of every product with franchise. So every franchise can share their voice and we can address it immediately. So I tried to address all the queries. If I missed out on anything, please let me know.
Sure. I think you've addressed that. But if I look at your financials and you see 5 lakh rupees monthly profit, 5 lakh rupees on average of 20-25% would mean that you would need to do sales of about 30-35 lakh rupees. 30-35 lakh rupees sales with a 7 lakh rupee product at a wholesale level, even MRP level, it can be higher pricing, still is a low number. So my suggestion to you and to
Yes.
franchisee that it is better to be a little more, transparent and say if the volume increases, it's in the interest of the franchisee. But it is all stock game. If you don't put the stocks right and you don't have fluidity on the stock levels, your sales is actually proportionate to the stock size. And this is where the big companies always able to build big volumes, because they always invest a large amount of value on stocking up, putting the product on the market and so on and so forth. Unless and until you put that kind of market, your volumes will never come.
Yes.
That's a thumb rule. In this business, thumb rule is If you put a 7,
Yes.
you are putting 7 lakh rupees at a wholesale price. MRP level, the product might go to 11, 12 lakh rupees. 11, 12 lakh rupees product can maximum do in a 45-day life churn, which means that you can expect a 12, 14 lakh rupees of a sales cycle in a 45 days. And if it's very aggressive, you can do a monthly cycle, because a personal care, it's a monthly cycle, not beyond that. Normally it is 45 days, but in even a monthly cycle,
True, absolutely. Yes.
that I would still get about 10, 12 lakh rupees of sales. And if my 20-25% margin is there, it's still very interesting. I'm not saying sometimes we projection
Yes,
goes.
yes, yes.
I get worried myself because the franchise over expects from the business. It should not over expect. It should be realistic discussion. It's a business. So now I have one question which is very critical.
Yes.
Is that whenever people take a license like this or a franchise of one SKU, are they also partner with you on IP? Tomorrow that particular SKU becomes very, very popular. And I'll give you an example. There is a company out of Chandigarh called Kesh King, which was
Yes.
sold to Imami for a 1,200 crore valuation, single product. Now, recently, yesterday we saw this Marico bought this men grooming company at a very large price. And we have seen Marico just bought over that company, which is Harish Bariwala's company. And they bought over this big men, grooming company. They used to do a lot of this.
Ahmedabad-based company.
Widow, I think so. So they bought over that company. So whenever the valuation comes, they come on a SKU. That single SKU becomes very, very popular, and people want to put a value to that. Would the franchisee would be part of that value creation, because he's also now equally build the brand, and now the brand has become very big, and somebody says, I want to buy this company for 5 crores or 10 crores. Is a franchisee also part of it?
Yes, yes, it is. So that's what we are trying to do, because, Gaurav sir, what we have tried to do is, from the bottom of our, journey. So we are trying to, our agenda is to help an individual smoothen his business. So that is the core of the company. So even that stock factor is also because of that only, that he can smoothly start and then gear up. So that is one thing. And in this also, now it goes both ways. Now we are passing the rights to an individual, which is irrevocable. We cannot take it back. Now the individual, once if the company goes to, he is trying to sell, automatically his SKU valuation, he holds the right? If he or she also wants to sell that as a right to anybody tomorrow, he also had the right, only keeping in mind the terms and condition of the brand. So he should not play around with the brand, and he can pass it on to as a stake also. So that will help both ways to the individual.
It is very interesting. You should start your presentation next time with the say, how can you be part of building value? So income business is very low, but if you are able to build one IP, one product, and make it successful, the value you generate as a franchisee is very, very high. So I think there can be a good, maybe another piece you should add. Apart from income, if the product becomes super hit, they also are part of the value creation and building the value. And IP values are much more. And a single product itself can make you millions if the product is good. So now I like to, you've already discussed on the exit part. You've also discussed on volumes. And there are many other questions coming in. I would like to invite Sonia here. And Sonia, if you can take up a lot of questions. There is many questions on the organic part of it. And also one question I will leave it, which I think Sonia can further lead and discuss with you, is that you will also, because you're creating 200 SKUs, you might create a competing products within each other.
Sir, as per the product designing is concerned, so as I told you, so if you see e-commerce marketplace, which we still think is the major, which we are focusing, every keyword is a product, right? If what we have seen over a period of years. So if I'm saying that, if I'm taking, let's say, an Amla and Tulsi as a combinations, so Amla individually, Tulsi individually, and Amla and Tulsi together, all three have their own market spaces and they are growing. So I'm just giving an example, as an example it is, but what we are trying to segregate one product from other in the depending on the market size. So when we decide on the product, it's not about the ingredient or the what type of name it will be. It is rather on this product has a market or not. So according to that, we are designing the product. So till now, and there are more than, I believe, 50 lakh SKUs, different products on Amazon itself till now, if I'm not wrong, in beauty category itself. So we are very much sure that when reaching 10,000 products will not create this kind of issues. So that's how we are planning to go ahead with it.
Sure. Sonia, over to you.
Thank you, Arnav. I think a lot of these questions which I'm seeing, and we're answering these questions, and we understand this category currently is growing, and especially the last 5 odd years, we have seen many players, serious players rather, entering this category, and acquisitions from Marico acquiring 45% stakes 3 years back to acquiring now the full company a few days back. And Amazon, you mentioned, is also recording a double-digit growth in this category. So we understand the potential as far as the interest in this category is concerned. A little bit on, because I see somebody's already on Amazon and he's a seller, and he's already doing some kind of sales online. I'm assuming he's doing organic products. He wants to understand if he wants to take not just a single product and he takes the entire organic product and wants to place that online. What kind of a business model would that be, and how can that be achieved, is one question which I wanted to take up first.
What I can understand is he wants to take a range of products and sell it.
Right, which is organic specifically. He does not want to do the entire range. I'm assuming he's already in some kind of organic business on Amazon where products are listed. So
if he's willing to get as a brand, he wants to take as a distribution. If I'm not wrong, he wanted to do a distribution kind of a thing. Like
only the organic range out and say, I want to put it on Amazon. So what kind of arrangement? Because a lot of people I'm seeing are a little concerned with only one product, and they have 300 SKUs, which you said you have with 60% of repeat sales. So we actually don't know, where the 60% repeat sales, which products. So if somebody wants to pick up only one category, say organic products or any other combination, is that also a possibility? And if yes, what kind of a model combination would that be? Because if we look at only one product, says 10 lakhs, and only people who understand one category and they know that category is growing can perhaps invest in 10 lakhs for that big segment. But the entire range of 300 products might not have the same kind of reach or demand in the market. So if you can give a little bit of understanding of how would that combination be if somebody doesn't want to do one product, does multiple products, or does one category, say only organic, for example, in this case?
So one thing is that there are many of the players like franchise who have taken multiple products, like 5-6 products as franchisee at the outset, right? And because they started with one, they found that it is good, and they started taking franchise of different products depending on the experience and exposure. So that is one thing which we believe. The fundamental thing what we have seen over a period of time is on e-commerce platforms. So if you want to book good profit, you should always have a monopoly of having the decision of pricing. Because what happens is like any other good brand which is commonly sold, you will see 100 sellers selling the same product. And what happens is a bigger player comes in, he buys the product in a lesser price and sell it on a lesser price. So everybody gets the lesser profit. So that's how it has happened in the past. So we avoid that, multiple people selling the same product concept. So either the individual who is the owner of the franchise is selling it, or the company is selling it, or through a cloud-tail or a formula kind of a platform which is selling it. So what happens is whatever profits are generated, it automatically goes to the individual. So we can track it and we can send it to the individual of the business. So there is no competition price war, which is the most difficult thing which we have seen in e-commerce, right? So, and for the people, like let's say if somebody is attending a distribution channel offline, or he is giving into a retail. So obviously he has to place a bouquet of products, not a single product a retail will keep. So for that, we have an internal platform for where you can buy anybody's product at a distributor price. So it will be lesser. So we are ensuring that the franchise gets its due 20 to 30% profit, and rest margin will be passed on. So whatever money we are spending on Amazon, that margin is given to an individual and he can sell it on offline. So you can always take the products as a distributor, right, for offline markets, but we, fundamentally we avoid for multiple players in the same category to avoid the price war between. So for an individual who wants to sell our product, right, he or she can always take it as a distributor and sell it on the offline market. If he wants to sell it on the e-commerce and wants to really get the benefit out of it, it is better to select a product as a franchisee level so that you cannot be beaten on the price. And above that, we have another model which we have recently started for, but that is on a manufacturing level or a brand. So he or she can have his own brand. So that is something we are planning and working out. So that is a different story altogether. But for this particular brand, if you want to sell e-commerce, our fundamental concept is to go individually on a product, because it has a higher chance of profits rather than getting into competition and price wars. So I hope that would have addressed that query.
And then in this case, because you're saying the product is single, would you advise what works? Because from your experience of maybe markets that you're doing and products in 128 franchisees, would you be able to advise and maybe offhand, if you can have maybe a little bit understanding which you can give to the investors here, which are the markets which you see one high consumption of these products as far as your brand is concerned?
Yes. So what
and
we
which are the
do,
priority markets that you would want to
is
perhaps...
Please come again. The last part I missed out.
I'm saying, which are the markets which you would want to take on a priority? Because I'm sure there are certain markets where the demand is higher for certain products. So which are the important or priority markets that you feel are right at this point in time for somebody to immediately get into?
Yes. So the entire concept starts from that I told that it is first analyzed whether the scope is there, and then the product is designed, kept into the basket. Now, whenever a person comes with us and decides that he wants to go ahead, we sit down individually and we discuss the list out with him. So what is the scope? How do we see? And we also give our advice that what will suit, because it depends on the individual as well. Believe me, we have seen over 128 different people. Every different individual has his own way of approach. So somebody is very good on e-commerce. Somebody is very good on, one-on-one sales, social media sales. So depending on that, we suggest people that which product you should choose. But at the end of the day, the decision is with the franchise out of that list. Now, if something comes up that somebody comes with an idea that this can be a product which we want to bring in, right? So we do the counter check of that product also, that whether we can design it in our brand. So that kind of a both way communication happens. So it's a very, very individualistic franchise approach, which we keep making sure, because at the end of the day, we are giving refunds. So we will also not want from the companies that any product to stay idle and dumped. So we make sure, and even we phase out the production also. So initially we will not go all out and produce the 7 lakh goods all together and dump it into the franchise. So we will phase it out. So some part will be there with the company from the individual, and some part will go to the franchisee and we will distribute it accordingly. Some part will go to Amazon's go down. So that kind of optimization is done for every single product, and that's how we could maintain the success of the franchise. So that is how we work. So you have a choice. We give personalized advice to people which product to be gone and which segment you should target, depending on the individual as the market which we are seeing. Out of the list, you can choose any product. We take onus of every individual product we have. And if somebody has some idea, we can also counter check that. And if it is possible, we will do that. So some kind of fine tuning is also done while the production is taken care of. Yeah.
Sure. So I will while this is going interesting, a lot of questions are coming in, and I would like Sonia to continue to take a lot of questions and also talk about your retail expansion or maybe manufacturing partnership and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, I have to go for another webinar at exactly 1 o'clock, so I would excuse myself. Just before
Sure.
there is a business hotline, which is 971-76-83838, which I have written on that. So if you want to set up a questions or meeting with Arnav, our teams can align that. Please reach out with your questions. It's a very interesting business model you've done. I think people would need to go into depth, also understand a lot of franchisees who made success out of this. They can also talk to them. So great, Arnav. Keep good work, and I congratulate for you to be a successful entrepreneur, and any sport which Franchiseindia can bring in, we're more than happy to do that. Over to you, Sonia. So you can
actually, it will be a privilege.
Great, thank you. And I'll go back to the questions because there are many questions which are coming up because the category is interesting. One, what kind of profile of people as partners are the right fit for a business like this one? And second, what exactly would be the role of the partner or the franchisee? So I have one question which is being put. He says, does he need to be he's just a person who just puts in capital. He needs to be involved in distribution, demand generation, or fulfillment. So what exactly becomes the role of a franchisee and what kind of profile people need for a business? No, we can't hear you. We've kind of,
I'm so sorry. Some kind of network glitch came in. So am I audible now?
Okay.
Hello.
Would you want to relog in? I am not too sure if you can actually hear us, but if you want, you can relog in and start. Ashna, can you please check?
Actually, ma'am, actually, we lost you in between. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah.
So, ma'am.
Yes, now.
Yeah. Arnav, you are.
I'm so sorry. I don't know. Today is an off day for an internet network. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So I heard the first question that what kind of exact people you are looking for and what are the roles and responsibilities you want they will be having. So am I correct in saying that? Hello. Hello.
So Arnav, we'll just wait for Sonia ma'am to relog in. I think she.
Okay.
Yeah, we just wait for her to relog in.
I think we hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
So my one question was, because we're looking at any specific profile of people that you think are the right fit for a business like this one. And second, what exactly is the role of the franchisees? One of the questions which I'm seeing, is he just an investor in the business, puts the investment? Is he responsible for distribution? Is he responsible for demand generation? Or he does fulfillment, or he does all of these? And who are the right people out of your 128 people that you currently have as your partners? What kind of backgrounds they come from, and what role is a partner expected to do?
Yeah. So interestingly, the 128 mix is a very wide mix. So there is we have people who are freshers actually, right from a commerce background. We have people, even we have housewives, ladies who had started the business. Right, we have good businessmen also with us, even including doctors. So there's a wide range of people. The reason behind it is this business doesn't require you to, because there's a bit of hassle-freeness which comes along, because you don't need to look after the rents and the labor and those kind of stuff. So anybody who is a person who is willing to get into entrepreneurship as a starter, he is also welcome. And if somebody is willing to diversify his business, so these two people are most welcome, because if I talk about the responsibility, of course, the individual franchisee owner has to take the responsibility of developing that individual product. So, and our entire training and process will be in place to help that only. So how to starting from how to create a seller account, how to list your products to different things, then how to build a retail outlet chain in your local area, how to build a distribution channel, how to sell products on different B2B models like India Mart and all those stuffs. So these things will be taken care by the individual franchisees, guided by us. And apart from that, as a brand, we are also increasing our market. Like today, we have started our business in US. So automatically that product goes into the US market. So initially the company will do the penetration work. It will create a big know-how and the branding. And then once it is moving, then again we will, hand it over to the franchise to take it forward from there. So ultimate idea behind building is that an individual who's willing to build a product and then create an IP, what Gaurav sir was talking about, valuation. So that kind of a person can easily come and gel in. So because the entire digital training is digital, so even don't need to go out and move out. So even a housewife can work, or even a damn professional can also work with us. So that's the flexibility of this project, which is. Yeah, even education background and all those technical stuffs is also not required. I'm so sorry.
Okay. So, and I'll take this question. You know, you talked about these 300 SKUs and 300 products that you have and 128 franchises that you currently have. Now, you know, how do we understand which are the SKUs or the product range which is available, and for what markets do we have that availability? One, and how is the exclusivity or distribution of area done for a franchisee? How is that opportunity potential mapped? And out of these 128 people, I'm sure a lot of location products have already gone at this stage, and this would not be available for maybe the next set of people who want to come in. So how do we segregate that? One is the question I would want you to answer.
So Sonia ji, the products which have already launched are already been franchised out. So whenever we come up we are associating with somebody, we will be bringing in a new product which will be exclusive for that individual, which he has to build from the scratch along with the company. So I told you, so it will be a personalized approach depending on the current market scenario and future. So you need to be rest assured that whatever product you will be selecting or we will be offering you will be a new product which till date the EnQ has not launched, and there will be no market competition because you will be having the monopoly of that product for selling. That is one. Second, how the business happens is now, let's say if the individual is selling the product through Amazon or in his retail outlet or franchise or distribution models, like what he is doing. So the entire margin and the profit and the turnover goes to the individual. Now, if let's say whatever the company is selling from its own end, let's say from its own seller account or through other platforms. So whatever business happens on monthly basis, we calculate the profits, net profit, and with the data which is available, easily available on Amazon, we transfer the amount to the individual's account. So anyways, you are not bounded by any geography. So you are starting from, if you are sitting at a very remote access, you can do the business globally. There never be a competitor to you. So that is how it is designed.
Okay, so just for the interest of everybody, there's one product where he gets exclusivity for the entire country, right? He can work from any location.
For the globally, rights for
one
globally,
product he will
global
own
rights.
Completely, and no matter where the sales would happen,
Yes.
he would get an access.
Yes.
Okay, now this also.
Even the sizing.
Sorry. Okay,
Even
and
the
what is
sizing.
the average? All right, and what are the, because I have one question, because you already have experience of these 128 people, what is the kind of average sale one partner would make, and how long does it take? And a lot of these products are already known in the market or categories which are very popular, but how long does it take for one person to actually go to the optimum level is what I would want you to answer.
So as we said that what we have seen is it takes 5 years to build a product, individual product to the optimum level. So minimum on an average, 5 years is the time. If I talk about the initial business, the first expectation is to get the payback. So of the money invested. So that is the first stage of thing. So that happens within 8 to 15 months of time. So that's how we plan for an individual, because earlier, if I tell you very honestly, that when we started, the marketing budgets, the advertisement things were pretty low compared to any other good brands. Now with the brand coming up, we are putting a lot of money into marketing, branding, and individual budget is also kept for individual product marketing. So 2 lakh rupees, which we have kept. So that we have seen that with a 50,000 rupees investment, it can go 5 times. So with 2 lakh rupees, we have calculated it is very easy to reach in 8 to 12 months at max. And so that is the payback. Now the second level is to go beyond it, right? So if we calculate the minimum average sale, so we are targeting to hit at minimum 5,000 pieces a month. That is our first goal to hit, right? So that will be for every individual. Yeah. So that is the bare minimum we want to hit in let's say 3 to 5 years time. So we have kept 5 years so that a person can relax and build it. Now in 5 years, if you are reaching that level also, you are booking a profit of up to 50-60 lakhs a year. So rotating a 10 lakh rupees product. So I'm keeping that 10 lakhs to be rotated continuously. So that is the way. But if I give you an example, which will give you a much more confident that there are people who has sold a product of worth 5 to 6 lakhs within 3 months. So it depends. So I cannot promise that every product goes in the same direction, because it depends on the market, how it responds for a particular category, how other brands are working into it. but more or less this 8 to 9 months is the payback period. And then if you look into 3 to 5 years, we expect, our minimum humble expectation is to reach 5 to 6,000 pieces. The competitors whom we are following, they are selling 8,000 pieces a day. So, and the way we are growing, we can easily surpass that. But of course, we have to give a genuine data to people. So that's like a very, very humble data we are giving. Yeah.
So I would say, Panna, because all these partners would be your early partners who will also work with you to, create market for that product. Is there any assistance that you give to the partner to also promote through any kind of marketing, any marketing support that you give to these partners, any kind of digital marketing where you also invest along with them? Anything that you've done or you plan to do for a partner, or the entire investment is polarises that?
Sure. So as a brand, we do everything. So we digital marketing, social media marketing. So on individual products, category wise, as well as product wise, as well as the overall brand wise. So that 2 lakh rupees the person is putting forward. So that budget goes to for that individual product. Getting my point? So that will be taken care from the company's expert teams. So automatically that will give the boom. The second best part in this business is for the customers, consumers, the brand is one, the EnQ. So he doesn't understand the channels, how it is divided. So if if I give an example of Dove, so it started with the soap, now shampoo and everything got it. So one product reaches up, automatically brings up the other ranges. That's what happened with us. So the people who are coming now will get the benefit of the branding, marketing and everything done for last 2 years with 128 people, what their efforts they have given. So it is compounding. So that kind of branding. So on every step, it is company who will be guiding. The individual is only to take if he or she wants to take further steps, like he wants to go more aggressive. So he on an individual basis can take help of any digital marketing company or those things, which is an additional thing depending on the profits he is booking. So, and that too will be guided by us, that how to go about it. But at the end of the day, the brand has to be integrated.
I cannot take up all the questions. I'll take one last question. And looking at even the entire product portfolio, what products are these? Because I think it'll be a little more deep diving in the product portfolio. And I would like to have maybe one discussion on that. But one question before I call off is what if, because currently you're doing distribution mostly online, what if tomorrow we are opening an exclusive outlet? And because you have a big SKU line, and in the times to come, this SKU would also develop further. What happens when EBOs start happening and we have an EBO of EnQ, say in a city like Delhi or any place? What would be the role of the partner at that point in time?
Okay. So what happens is that is just to enhance the business of franchise only. So what we do is already we have planned for stores, which was about to launch in April, but because of pandemic, we had shifted it to another 6-8 months so that unnecessary losses are not met at this point of time. When the stores will open, we have the SKUs which belongs to the franchisee owners. So whatever products we will keep, obviously that is of the franchise owner. So whatever is the carrying cost, let's say we have kept a budget of 40%, which is a marketplace expenses of Amazon and all, which out of the gross margin. So that with that expense, we can sell that product on the these stores also. So the business automatically goes to the franchise. So whatever product sold, the net profit goes to the individual who is doing. So this actually
of the channel, whether it is sold online, whether it's sold at the store, whatever product is sold, he takes his own commission or margin on that product, irrespective of that.
Gets 100% net profit goes to the individual. So at any channel.
Okay, I don't know if I missed that because I could not hear in between, because there's a question on the stock also. There's a stock of 7 lakhs which investment is expected by the investor. Now, is that stock physically transferred or that stock remains with you? What happens to the stock? Because it's a pan-India play.
So what happens, batch, we phase it out. The manufacturing is done in phases. So we try to bring in as small packages as possible in the
I think we have again lost you.
Yes. I'll just call him.
Guys, I think before we wait for Mr. Arnab to come back, I like to say this is one of the very underserved segment we had seen in the last many years. And the last 2-3 years is seeing a big interest by all bigger players, and a lot of smaller companies have come in, which have been acquired by many big companies. And this trend or interest has just gone beyond what core shaving segment was doing. Not just limited to products, but even going into many other services. So great opportunity to look at. While I understand, I am looking at these questions, there's much more deep diving in the business model, product range that needs to be done. And we like to come back to you for these questions one-to-one. We have captured, there are almost about, I think I say about 80 odd questions which I have, which still needs to be answered and taken that in depth. And we'll come back to you between today and tomorrow. We'll take time from Mr. Arnab, and we'll get you on one-on-one calls with the yeah, I think we have one last question.
So is a bad day.
We can actually wind up.
Yeah. So I understood your questions. That last question which you asked was related to the stocks, that how it is. So as I was sharing quickly, that the stock is a decision between the individual franchise owner and the company. We plan the stocks accordingly. We don't dump the product directly to the franchise owner, because see, initial sales will happen from the company's end, because by the time the franchisee will accustom to the market and he will build his seller account, we will immediately start the business for him or her. So we phase it out and plan it out. A small quantity goes to the franchise owner, and with the permission of the franchisee, we keep some into our stocks. We send it to different FBAs or the godowns of different channels. Then if it is required, we will send it to the international market. So in the 7 lakh product first is assigned to the individual, and then accordingly we plan where to place that stock accordingly. So it's a very, very optimized operations which we do, which is very, very step based. So a person has never ever have to worry about dumping or the stocking, that is for sure, because anyways the personal care doesn't take a lot of volume area, and again we are optimizing it. So stock will never be a big issue. And if the person wants to product to reach some at certain locations where he has already a customer base or some kind of an offline market, so that can also be done optimally from the company's end. So that's how we do it.
Great. Thank you so much, Arnab. I think I will stop at that and we'll take up these questions later. But just to summarize for everyone, we're looking at only one product, and they can be a combination if you want to look at. We talked about that, and 10 lakhs on each product. And you get exclusivity globally. Obviously, India, all markets are open, and irrespective of the channel that you get in, whether that's exclusive outlet sale or sale at the local traditional shops or online, any sale of that product happening anywhere in the world, right, would get credited to the franchisee. Second, there is no need of warehousing. I saw that question coming up, but there's no need of warehousing. All channels, any sales come to you. And brand will also help you in optimizing and creating that initial marketing support which you would need in popularizing the product. And it also helps you in de-risking, because whatever stock that you've invested in is kind of, for reasons the product is not doing well, this amount would be refunded back. And lastly, any new product. So all the products which have already gone to 120 franchisees are not available. The company comes up with new products based on the demand that it in the market and the data which the company is reading, and these products are then made available to find new partners. And one thing which is very important, and that would require maybe a little more understanding, is value creation, because any partner which has been part of that product development will also be part of value creation in future when that product segment or category, or that particular product becomes big. And so these are the products, or these were the points which I wanted to talk about to maybe sum up. Any last words, Anna, that you want to talk to our audience, and then we'll call it off.
Okay. So I think almost we have discussed a good bit, then we can do on one and two. Because see, this is a very new, I believe this is a very different kind, not new, but different kind of a concept. So it requires a one-on-one discussion, so that we will definitely do. As of now, I can tell you that we as a company are very, very much optimistic about what we have already achieved and what we are about to achieve. And one thing is for sure, that it is a very hassle-free and a personalized kind of a business opportunity, because the company, the core of the company is to help individual get into entrepreneurship. So our designed model is in a way that it should be focused on the franchisee to grow rather than the company itself. So as a brand, so definitely it will go across in those lines only. So that's what I can tell you. And from our side, it's a great pleasure to for the first time we have discussed in this kind of a platform, and it's a privilege to have a word with you and the team. Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I've already shared my views with Gaurav. So
I think this is a good time that we
he's
launch it, because these are the times that we're seeing a very big interest in this category, not only in India, but globally also. I was reading CVS, which is leading pharmacy of America. They recently tied up with a company for men's grooming and makeup category, which India is still not using that. And they're rolling out that in a few thousand of their stores. So a big opportunity, a great, I would say, demand currently, both nationally and internationally, but would require a little bit of more understanding. And I see many questions still pouring in as we close. And thank you so much, Arnab. And we like to take all these questions, friends. We couldn't take that because we already, overshot by half an hour, other 40 minutes, and we like to take it up separately with all of you. Thank you so much. Great day. Over to you, Ashna.
Thank you so much, all the participants who have joined. Yes, we got a couple of queries from you that Sonia ma'am, Arnab and Gaurav sir has took, and we'll definitely come back to you for one-on-one call. You can directly reach us. You can directly reach to Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am at their respective LinkedIn IDs. We have just shared the information about our business hotline number that's there in your chat tool. You can also drop your feedback suggestion at that particular business hotline number. You can also follow us on our social links, which it's there in your chat tool. The recorded version of this episode, as well as all the previously done episode, is also available at the Facebook page of Franchisee India Brands Limited. That's the ID, Franchisee India Brands Limited. Do visit us, share your feedback over there also. But before we conclude and we say final goodbye to you for the day, we have another brand coming up tomorrow. Yes, Tribe Amrapali, a globally renowned fashion jewelry brand from Jaipur. You must have seen many female actor wearing these kind of the jewelries from them. One name is Kiran Kher. Yes, she's using Kangna Ranaut. She used in one of the movie, and that's the brand we are representing you tomorrow. And we have Mr. Devashish Mitra, who is the business head for Tribe Amrapali, talking about this great brand and sharing what kind of the value proposition they are creating in market. So do not miss this chance. Join us tomorrow for this globally recognized fashion jewelry brand. With this information, we would like to conclude today's webinar with a thank you note to Arnab, our brand representative, our panel member Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am, and last but not the least, all the participants who took their time, efforts and patience for this particular webinar. Stay safe, stay healthy. Goodbye from our side. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Arnab. Good day. Bye.